Good afternoon from London. I'm very pleased. We are recording the second episode all the way from London. And today I'm very proud and humble to have as guest the CEO of PTC, Brian Moon. Thanks, Brian, for joining us. And we are going to talk about something very exciting. It's about Hawaii. So for those who are not familiar with PTC, Brian will explain what is PTC and the mission and the values that we bring in the tech industry. Okay, so Brian, why we don't start with the first question? How you get to the PTC? I think now it's 3 years.
Yeah.
Or 3, right?
3 years.
3 years. Wow.
Goodbye.
Time flies, right?
Yeah.
It was just outside COVID. It was just like when people were start to gather again, right? And how is going? How is the journey? But please start how you start. Who introduced you to PTC? How you get there?
Yeah. So first, it's always great to spend time with friends now, right? 3 years have flown by, like we just said, and we've quickly become friends, and you've been a great supporter, and we'll talk about that over the next several minutes here together. And we are in lovely London. I mean, outside of Hawaii, another great location to be in, but it's great to spend time with you. And it's been 3 years, a very quick 3 years. A lot has been going on with the organization, but just to start off in terms of the history of PTC, the organization, it is a not-for-profit, which many people still don't realize, but we're a not-for-profit membership organization, which has existed for now going on 48 years, believe it or not. Founded in Honolulu, Hawaii, still headquartered in Honolulu, Hawaii. And at the essence of the organization, it's in addition to being a not-for-profit, it has been to drive technology, right? Specifically telecommunications, ICT, now we call it digital infrastructure, with a focus on the Pacific Rim. Fortunately, we've been able to grow the organization to be global. So we have members from now all over the world, which is incredible. And I know we'll talk about the annual conference, our big meeting every January, but we've been able to grow and sustain and support the industry, and more importantly, to support our members as they have been able to grow pretty significantly over the past several years. So, but my background has been with technology, more so prior to PTC. I was with also another association in North America, and it was more so on the finished goods side, so more hardware, some software involvement with that. But now coming to PTC and this side of the industry, it's been very thrilling to see how things are built, because our members, if they don't create the backbone and the infrastructure, then the part of technology I was familiar with doesn't work, right? And so it's now interesting to see the other side of our industry.
I see. Great. Thanks. So you started in 2022. It was like during summertime, some few months. So the first PTC, you were nervous. How was your sensei? Like you, I'm sure you still remember everything.
Yeah.
The first month, the first PTC.
Yeah.
You must be not sleeping at night, and it must be like a great journey. And so in terms of members, you talk about global members. Can you please tell us what is like the geographical ratio? I mean, where they come from? Because you mentioned it's for 48 years, but I've been a PTC since 2019. So. I'm like a late joiner, and I need 20 years more to be, So what is the geographical ratio? Where the people come from? Why they travel all the way to Hawaii, besides it being a great place? Yeah.
It's so the geographical breakdown of our members, I would say first and foremost, largely North America, right? The United States mainland. However, what you see there, it's a little bit misleading because many international global companies use their United States offices or staff, right? But there's just because of business reasons, but we still have global representation. Now, in terms of global growth, we still have very good representation from the Pacific region, which we talked about at the beginning, but we're seeing growth in many new areas, which again, follow where our industry is growing. So we've seen, in addition to Asia growing in terms of membership, South America, there's a lot of attention on PTC from South America. Middle East, believe it or not, right? Because there's a lot of activity in the Middle East. And now expanding all the way to areas like Iceland, Greenland, that you never would have maybe thought of, or our founders maybe would have never thought of, right? 40 years ago. And so we've been, again, very fortunate because our conference, our membership has been able to evolve with how our industry has been growing and those key areas on where it's been growing. And so global, in a sense, where we're seeing a lot of these now hotbed areas of where our industry is landing data centers, landing cables, right, where satellites are going up. And that's where we benefit from seeing the growth.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's exciting because I remember every year, but if I remember the first time, you see all the ecosystem from, as you said, satellite operators to data centers and subsea cables operators. Now you have a lot of investors, especially because of AI
Yeah.
and then all this compute power that needs to be located in places like Nordics and
Yeah.
Greenland, where there is a lot of renewables,
Yep.
and you have governments involved. I think you have a speaker every year in the last 2 years. Is the governor of Hawaii that she comes to give a speech, right? And
Right.
so and then on top of that, you brought a PTC DC to Washington in a mission to involve governments officials
Right.
and bring more on the East
Yeah.
Coast. Do we have any plans to bring PTC in other locations?
We do. So, and you've summarized it really well. Now, and hearing you say it, we've done a lot, right? That's, I think, going to be the theme of our conversation today. Is we benefit because from on a local level, it's being located in Hawaii. There's a lot of opportunity there, and also a lot of challenges too, because not being obviously connected to the mainland. Hawaii has, and being sort of that central location between the United States mainland and Asia and the rest of
Correct.
the world, geographically, it's in a great location. But within the state in and of itself, as you mentioned, we've had support from the Lieutenant Governor, Sylvia Luke, the past 2 years. She'll be returning again this January,
great.
which is terrific. But she has been spearheading the broadband initiative within the state of Hawaii. By 2026, the goal of the state is to be the first fully fiber-enabled state of all the United States.
Wow.
So it's a big goal,
Yeah.
but the state is well on its way. And we'll talk about that in January. We have a session that the Lieutenant Governor will be speaking on about how that progress is going, in addition to other leaders from Hawaii. And so within the state, we have this unique opportunity because Hawaii is a great example of believe it or not, an up and coming sort of economy in digital infrastructure. And then the rest of the world, what's been very unique about PTC, and you mentioned it a few minutes ago about my first one, is we bring in global executives
Yes.
from all over the world, right? Global executives from all over the world who are coming to Hawaii every January. And I've used the term unofficially that those who are familiar with the meeting in Davos every single year, I call PTC the Davos of digital infrastructure because we create that environment. It's a very unique environment where key leaders from key sectors within our industry are coming together for 1 week to discuss about what is happening in our industry, what the future trends are, what are the opportunities. And it's in this very unique environment with the backdrop being Honolulu.
Yes, correct.
That creates just this very nice mix and this model that has been working for so long. And so we're in a very unique position in that way, where we're able to create this unique environment for people to come together to have frank conversation, but also to conduct business. Regarding your question about PTC and other places, we get asked many times throughout the year if we want to, and PTC DC is one example of that. And in aligning with our mission, it's where our members want us to be.
Yes.
The purpose of PTC DC 2 years ago was that the previous administration wanted to learn more about what was happening in the world of telecommunications, specifically submarine cables, data centers, and we wanted to bring it. Sometimes it's difficult for them to travel to Hawaii in January.
Yeah.
So we wanted to bring the PTC member, the industry, to them, to Washington, D.C. And it wasn't just the United States government. Being in Washington, D.C., the benefit of it is there's embassies all over the world located there. And so to have representation from different embassies attending PTC DC was unique for them. And so, again, that was a request from our members, is how do we get in front of an audience like the government? So if our members ask for something like that and there's interest in doing a program like that elsewhere around the world, we'll certainly look at that. Again, if it's support our members and it supports our industry,
Yeah,
then
makes sense.
it's certainly worth
Yes,
having that conversation to see if we can go
especially now
elsewhere.
because I think we hear even in the news, right? We hear about cable cuts in the Red Sea, and was 1 year and a half ago we had the cable cut in Red Sea, and I remember that even in the Italian news they were mentioned about the company I work for about the cable cuts, and you feel wow, and I was like sending the article to my family members,
Yeah,
say okay that's what I do. Yeah, we're in this kind of
right,
ecosystem, and if there is like these cable cuts or whatsoever, there is no internet or
right.
we play a vital role in our society. So you talk about misconception. I think another misconception that there is in the industry, but now it's changing also this one, is that before people think, oh, you go to Hawaii for business, come on, he's going to have fun and surfing and so on. But actually, in fact, I was curious the first time I attended uh, because I don't know how to expect. And I even packed a couple of blazers because just in case, come on, it's business. And of course, the blazer, I never wore that
Right.
one. But what you mentioned is what is great in my experience PTC is that you have this global executive that they just walk around and it's easy to have a little conversation with them, which can be inspiring. Besides, the talk in the theater, which of course is very
Right.
important with the whole agenda, which by the way you is improving year by year. In the keynote, the first one is always impossible to get a seat in here.
Right.
Maybe you need to find a bigger
Yeah.
theater. Yeah. So it's very easy to stop and bump and start conversation spontaneously, and that's lead to when people go back, and especially the younger generation, I think they're inspired. They go back with more motivation and feel proud what they do, and also geographically because as you said, you're in Hawaii, but you meet people from all over the world. It can be Korea, Japanese, China, Middle East, Europeans. It's fantastic environment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You touched on a lot of really good things,
yeah,
right? And I remember my very first PTC. It was PTC 23. My team members were telling me, "Don't pack a suit. Don't pack a blazer. You'll never wear it."
yeah.
I said, "Okay." And you always, it's my
So,
first year, right? I
yeah,
never know, so I like you packed a blazer just in case. But it is very unique in that way where, as you mentioned, you could meet the global executive CEO, chairman of a major company and see him or her at the top of bar,
yes,
and you can strike up a conversation with them. And it's very different when it's strangely, but it's very different when men are not wearing a suit or a
yes,
blazer, women are not in professional attire, how easily you can approach them in that
yes,
setting. And I still remember one of my fondest memories that first year was I was standing at Top of Bar because everyone talks about the Top of Bar, that's one of the central locations.
yes,
And one of our members was with me and said, "Can you believe I've been working all year to try to get a meeting with that executive,
yeah,
but I saw him walking by Top of Bar and I stopped him and I was able to speak with him for 15 minutes."
yes.
And
It's
that's
very
the
well.
type of experience in the environment, right? It doesn't always need to be in a conference room or a
No,
meeting
no,
room,
very
but
form.
to
Yeah,
be able to see them in this serendipitous moment,
yes,
in line getting coffee or at the top of bar or at a conference session,
yeah,
and to be able to meet with them wearing an Aloha shirt
yes,
is so much
correct.
different,
Of
right?
course, yes,
And you touched on one other area that I think is really important for your listeners is also PTC is obviously beyond just the annual conference. We do and conduct lots of other programs throughout the year, and we're very focused on areas such as where's the next generation of talent coming in,
yes,
right? So we've partnered with this January. We'll be bringing back. It's the Top Talent Leadership Development Program. We partner with Columbia Business School,
yes,
and that's for professionals who are looking to extend and go towards the C-suite in their career path. And then the other program, which I know you are very
yes.
you personally
Attend.
participated in, was
Yes,
the PTC Beyond Academy, which is mid-career professionals who enjoy the industry, who want to continue on
yeah,
and want to learn more. And you are a proud graduate of the
yes,
Academy Masterclass, so thank you
correct.
for that.
No, thanks for
But
the opportunity.
And so I'm gonna turn the tables and ask you right now, how has that helped you now?
I think, yeah, it helped me a lot. And especially because I think I was already at PTC, but
Yeah.
then it was the first one that I attend this class. And it was even better because actually the first day that I entered into the academy, of course I was late, being Italian, and so it didn't start very well, to be honest.
It's island time. You can
Yeah,
just say island time. Yeah.
exactly. And I felt for the first time being like a school, but in my own industry, which
Right.
is kind of amazing because usually, if you think about when you study maybe something else that is not related to what you do now. And this is the amazing feeling is that your teacher now, or someone is talking to you, but let's call teacher because it's a proper program, is someone who you haven't seen. You see like in a conference room speaking, or even you have a meeting, but you never see like he's teaching you things and he's sharing the feeling and the passion for the industry.
Yeah.
So I think it was very exciting, and I still remember. Even now, I still remember the class. I remember like Tony Rosabi and Gary from the CEO
Yeah.
of Colt. And another thing is you see the human touch of these executives, because usually it's not, when you are like executive and talk about business, and unless you have personal relationship, you don't see much about the human. But when you are a teacher, you need to be like a bit more like human, and it was great. Um, and then I think the structure was very good because you said, subsea. I still remember subsea, the legal part, and it was fantastic. And I think PTC is one of the very few, or maybe the only conference where there is an opportunity given to the young generation, because there is a new generation coming up, and you're really trying your best to train them and even to inspire them. Sometimes it's all about this. You also have other um, perks for the young leaders to join. We have if you're less than 35, what is the
We do. We
yeah
do. We have a registration program. So it's the
yes
buy one get one free.
yes
So as an industry professional, if you register and you have a younger professional from your organization that you want to bring to PTC, it's buy one get one free registration. So
I
you can
see.
bring them along to the conference.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that helps as well because sometimes company, if they need to look after their budget,
Right.
and if you had out the flight, the hotel, and they say, these guys can fly, he can come without getting the ticket because it's provided already.
Yeah.
It's a big advantage.
It is, and you touched on something in terms of the talent, right?
Yes.
And I think like many industries, especially ours, there's definitely we've identified that there's going to be a gap within the talent, right? Within the next 5 or 10 years, who are going to be the next level mid-tier managers, and then
Yeah.
who from there are going to be the next C-suite of all these organizations. And so I think what you said is that these executives of major companies who take time out of their busy schedules to teach a course
Yes.
to younger professionals, right? This is how business management works, or this is how the industry works. This is what keeps them up at night, right?
Yes.
And to be able to communicate that in a different setting than a conference program, right?
Yes.
But in a classroom is so much different. And one point I think you made also is it's the access to them.
Correct.
Where else are you going to see a Carrie Gilder from Colt
Yes.
in a classroom setting teaching a course, right? And you get to she's in charge of a big company,
Of course.
right? But you have that time with her, and so that's extremely important. And that again goes back to some of the important programs that PTC is proud to put together. Is again as a nonprofit, we get to reinvest back into the industry and
Of course.
reinvest back into young professionals, but also senior level professionals who are looking to become again part of the C-suite at their own organizations. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I think it's great. So in terms of numbers, do you know how many people attend the PTC? If you want to give just some ideas, we talk about the geographically and everything.
Yeah. So roughly, the conference in January brings approximately 9,000 industry professionals to
Wow.
Honolulu in that week, and certainly they're they have busy schedules, so some will be focused on the conference sessions. Some are in business meetings a lot of the time. Some are doing a mixture of both with the networking. But about approximately 9,000 attendees were in Honolulu this past January. And then
Wow.
this coming January, we think it'll be approximately around the same number based on what we can see right now with our data. So it's looking like it's going to be a very positive event.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's great numbers. And another thing that now I just remember is that the good thing about PTC is January, so start of the year.
Right.
People that just finished their Christmas meal, right? I should say. And it's amazing because, PTC is warm weather. And when you're at your tapa bar, you talk with someone, say, I just flew in from Denver. And Denver is like freezing cold. I cannot drive my car because there is ice in the street. And then you go there, and then you see people are just genuinely happy to be there. And that helps to talk to other people. Because if you're under stress, you don't want to talk with anyone. No matter if you're introvert or extrovert, whatsoever, if you're sales or procurement. So all that condition, it makes you feel that even it's 9,000 people, and I can, and then it's easy. I think even if there is 9,000 people, all the hotels are all surrounding the area. They can just easily go back to the room, take a rest.
Right.
And then actually we were mentioning on the way here about the jet lag. What is amazing is that of course there are people at the 4 o'clock in the morning on day one whatsoever. It corresponds to 1 p.m. and they cannot sleep, right? So you just go down. I still remember one year, I think 2 years ago, I was stuck in the room. I cannot sleep. I took even melatonin, but I couldn't sleep. So I text someone, said, okay, let's go for and then became a meeting because it's like,
Right.
yeah, we're away. Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's some people when they see the agenda and they see an activity such as we have the 5K run
Yes.
race. And we work with Make-A-Wish Hawaii,
Yes.
the local chapter, as a charity activity. But when we start the race at 5:30 in the morning, initially people say, "Why are you starting it at 5:30 in the morning?" Because people are awake,
Yes.
and they want to participate before the formal meetings may start. Right that day. But yeah, I mean you're hitting on all the right points of the event and conferences. Being able to have those business meetings, and again, it sounds, I think, maybe funny or maybe not funny to you and I, but to your listeners and your viewers that you can have a meeting with an executive in Aloha shirt.
Yes.
It makes a big difference.
Of course. Talk about
Right?
the millions, AI, data
Right.
centers. Of course, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
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 And we talk about the past. We talk about different things. For the edition in 2026, what's new?
Many things are new. So let's talk about the official program agenda.
Yes.
The business part that's new. So one of the programs that is near and dear to me that we wanted to continue to focus on and enhance is what used to be called the PTC Women's Program. And so there
Okay.
were several activities throughout the week where we would pair up industry professionals with newcomers, right? New women who are coming to PTC, but how to make sure that they receive the attention and the best experience they could have, but having an opportunity to connect with female leadership who are attending the conference. And so we're rebranding that this year. So it's going to be called the Week of Laulima. So Laulima is a Hawaiian word, which means many hands coming together. And I think it's a beautiful representation of the program that we are going to organize in a way where we start the week with an activity such as yoga as the activity, but it's an opportunity for women to come together to begin networking at the beginning, at the start of the conference. And then throughout, we'll continue to have activities such as the Power Women Breakfast Series. We'll have a networking reception, and then we'll close with a formal program. So we spread that out in an organized way where we come in with introductions, but then they'll have lots of opportunities throughout the week where they can come together and then at the end of the week summarize what they've learned, and
Yes.
hopefully they'll come away at the conference with a mentor or a mentee that they'll continue to
That's
keep in touch
great.
with. So that's a very again, a near and dear activity for me, but also the organization. So the Week of Laulima. One other exciting area that is going to be new is we have so many executives coming, and we want to make sure that we can get as much information out of them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Out of their knowledge. So we're actually adding a new stage called the Alakai stage. Alakai, another Hawaiian
Hawaiian name.
word, it
Yeah,
means to guide and to direct.
yeah.
And so we have the center stage program, which has been a fixture of the annual conference. But adjacent to it, we're building a new stage called the Alakai stage. Think of it as kind of a TED Talk type format
Oh,
and
nice.
layout.
Yes.
So the attendees will be able to actually physically even be closer to the speakers, be able to ask them questions in a Q&A format. But it's been a good problem to have because we have so many executives coming and we should
Yeah,
want to hear from
of
them.
course.
So we've built this new stage, and so that'll be an exciting program. And that session will take place Monday, Tuesday afternoons as well. And then if we move on to some of more of the fun networking programs, you also have been a very good participant in the soccer.
Yeah.
We're in London or in Europe. We should football, the
Football.
football
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
So that is going to take place again Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
So it's typically I think historically it's Italy versus the world is how it's positioned
Yes.
because the Italians are very good, obviously.
Used to be. Italians were very good when Fabrizio. So this soccer football match
Yeah.
is now dedicated to Fabrizio.
That's right.
Okay, who was a big supporter of PTC. Actually, I remember the first PTC events when Fabrizio was there, and so yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this year, I think last year, I mean this year, 2025, it was indoor. So I hope for next one is it's going to be good weather because people think Hawaii is always sunny.
Right.
No, they have rain too there.
Right.
And yeah, and of course Bill is a very big supporter of this. He's the main guy behind that, and actually he plays soccer very well. And I remember the first year it was hard for me to keep. Yeah, yes,
That's you'd be surprised, right? It goes back to the executives now that they're not wearing their suits, but they're doing
Yes.
business, conducting meetings in Aloha shirts. Then you see
Yeah.
many of them playing football,
Yes.
and you're amazed at how athletic a lot of our
Correct,
industry is.
correct,
I mean,
correct.
very competitive.
very
right?
competitive. They
So
want to win. They
they
like,
want to win,
yeah.
and it was exciting. It's exciting to see. And again, you are a very good player and part of that match. So that's it's been a
There was a-
long-standing tradition.
Yeah, there was a long-standing tradition. I think what's happening. Fabrizio was one of the organizer.
Yes.
And he was like Italy versus rest of the world, and it was happening on the Wednesday, so the last day. And when I participated in 2024, yes, you called an association. We did an event with them before.
We work with Special Olympics.
Special
that year.
Olympics,
Yes.
yes. Where Lorraine also, we should mention her. She was a big
Yeah.
supporter of that, and I remember, yeah, it was great. I think it's good to have it on Wednesday because anytime when you do sports, you release even the tiredness,
Right.
the stress, and the tension, right?
Right.
So it's good. It's like together. I feel like back in the college, like you did your work, you did your meetings, you did your education professionally, and now you switch off completely and say, "Let's have fun."
That's right.
It's like in Hawaii, in the island. It's like it's great. Everyone will remember the experience, and everyone wants to go back the year after, because I think I used to work in events, and what is challenging in events, and people give for granted, is that you need to keep up always
Yeah.
the spark,
Right.
the excitement. Otherwise, people they might not come back.
Right.
You cannot just have like a gathering of people,
Right.
and so I think what you're saying here, I feel the passion, and I feel that your team working hard on how to create new way to make the experience memorable,
Right.
right? And this is when you organize events is tough, man.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. There's always it's always the challenge. Exactly what you said is obviously most people are traveling a long ways to get to Hawaii. It is a lot of time
Yes.
flying. It is from a expense standpoint, it can be expensive.
Yes.
So it is our job, it is our responsibility to make sure that everyone has a good experience. And that's both exactly what you said. It's a mixture of you want to make sure obviously you're going to your business meetings, that you're conducting business, and that's most important. But it is also balancing that with again, you can't forget we are in Hawaii. So
Yeah.
how do you bring a little bit of that fun networking? But there's still always work involved with that, right?
Yes.
Because you could be playing football, you could be going to the yoga, you could be going to a conference session, but there's always an opportunity that someone you're sitting next to or someone who's
It
there
can
is
be a
someone you'll
partner,
never,
customer.
and you
Yeah.
hear lots of stories about that where
Yeah.
you'll just have those meetings at these different types of events. So yes, so again, the football match, I will see you there again because
So
we
I need to share a secret. I hope my boss won't listen to this. In my company, when we join, we have the list of the meetings with each participant. I think many companies would do that. So when is Wednesday, right? And people ask via email saying, I'm free Wednesday, 12 p.m. or like usually it's 2 p.m., right? I'm free Wednesday afternoon. And then I need to see how to push the meeting to
Right.
another slot, right? And then, so I put on this meeting list, I make myself like unavailable, but not officially because I want to be at the
Right.
soccer match. In fact, I hear some people say, no, I have a meeting. But sometimes if you have to have the meeting or
Yeah.
maybe join later, it's very easy to.
Yeah.
But I really hope this year is going to be outdoor. Let's do that.
Weather permitting, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. And then no, a couple other, and I'm going to recruit you for another fun activity that we're planning. So
Okay.
so we've had one program called the Barstool Pitch
Okay.
at the top of bar, which is where newer companies or existing companies with new technologies, it's
Can
almost
pitch.
like they're pitching.
Yeah.
It's like the television show, if we watch, it's called Shark Tank,
Yeah.
where you're pitching.
Yeah.
And so it's been a fun activity at the end of Monday where companies can go and in front of the audience, in front of our audience, start pitching, and then the audience judges who's the
Yeah.
winner. And then new this year, in addition to that, right after Barstool Pitch, this is what I'm going to recruit you for, is the lip sync competition.
Okay.
So think of karaoke
Yeah.
without the singing. So it's more performing a
Yeah,
song.
of course.
You can do it solo
Yeah.
if you'd like, or you can bring your team.
We can do
to
Italy versus rest of the world.
You might have to do it Italy versus the world again in lip
Yeah.
sync. But it's those types of fun activities where, again, people are, after a long day of meetings and working,
Yes.
you get to network and socialize. So
Yes.
it's those types of fun things that we'll be doing. And so that's new. So that'll be fun
Yeah.
on Monday night.
Brian, it sounds from the number of activities in say 1 month. So actually, when you suggest to arrive at the PTC, if you even a newcomer listening to us or someone
Right.
seasoned, with all these things happening now, what do you suggest to arrive? I usually arrive on Saturday and leave on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anything change? What is the window you suggest?
I would say it really depends on what your agenda looks like. For those who are coming for the first time or second time, is we're seeing many more people come earlier because
Yes.
they want to have more meetings before the conference starts, because they want to go to the conference sessions. So they'll try to host business meetings
Yes.
before. But this year, the Columbia Top Talent Leadership Development Program, that starts on Wednesday. So we're starting even earlier. Then
Yes.
the Academy starts
Yeah.
on Friday. And then the Submarine Cable Workshop starts on Sunday. So ideally, the schedule of a Saturday to Thursday is fairly good.
Yes.
Some will say will come in even a day or two early to
Yes.
try to adjust themselves.
That's a good point. I think because the year I did the academy, I arrived 2 days earlier, of course, because I need to arrive earlier. And I thank my company and my boss to give me the opportunity to do the academy. I had to ask their permission, and they found it. So thanks again. I remember I came earlier, and by the time my colleagues came and everyone else came, it was like they were like jet lag. I was like more fresh because you already start to adjust. So that was is good. So I agree because it's a long trip. So
It is.
if you manage to arrive a day earlier, it's better.
It is.
Yeah.
The best natural alarm clock, I will tell any of the first time viewers of this and listeners of this, is you have the ocean right there. Just
Yes.
come down, go, take a swim right in the
Yes.
morning, and you'll be ready to go.
Yes, correct. That's the best way.
Local secret, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I will do this year. So let's do it.
Yeah.
So Brian, we talk about many things. I think I need to watch this thing 4 or 5 times to digest all these activities and everything. So, Brian, thank you so much for joining us today, and look forward to PTC 2026. We mentioned about everything, but we need to mention the date. Come on.
January 18th through
Yeah.
21st, 2026 in Honolulu, Hawaii. For those who are interested in learning more, the website,
Yes.
our brand new website,
Yes.
which I'm excited about, is up to date. So ptc.org is the best to get all the information. And then once you're registered for the conference, the mobile app is launching soon. So that
Okay.
will be a great resource as well. But
To schedule
ptc.org,
meetings, everything, right?
exactly. Schedule meetings, agenda, connecting.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I remember the app. Yeah. I still have the app from 2019. I cannot delete because I have a legacy. So I don't want to delete from the phone. It's one of these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will book the flights and the hotel soon. For those one we haven't done yet, please do so. And we'll see you in Hawaii. Of course, this one we don't need to pack in.
That's right.
Save space. Just bring Aloha shirts. For those who are nervous about that, there's a lot of shops around there, so don't worry.
That's right.
It's very relaxed. I think I bought Tory.
Tory Richard?
Yeah, expensive, but it's lasting for years, so I will stick to it. So thanks again, and to this second episode, maybe the last. I don't know. I hope to continue with Tech on Air. Thanks again to Brian for your time, and safe travels back. I'll see you in January.